Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, bringing you guys Promised Neverland episode 2. Oh boy, guys, pretty excited. At the same time, I'm also very tired, so if this reaction seems a little lackluster, I'm sorry. I did have a very busy day today. Also, first off, before I talk more about anything else, y'all probably got a volume warning. It isn't a normal thing for me to put warnings in front of my videos in case you don't watch my other series. Apparently, since the start of my channel, so all the episodes on all my other shows and everything up until now had been very quiet, and no one had said anything. So I had no idea, and I decided to fix it, and now it should be up to par with normal, like, YouTube videos, so if you guys had to crank me up, for the first episode, sorry about that, and I'm glad at least for this series, that it was caught by the first episode, so second episode it's fixed. So that's good. At least I'll have, one series where there's isn't that problem, whereas, like, my Steins Gate series is almost over and I just fixed it. And then Boruto isn't close to being over, but I got a bunch of episodes done on that. But anyway, regardless, that should be better now, I believe. There will be, like I said, there will be a volume warning at the start of the episode that's just in case any regulars to my channel come to the videos with the expectations of it being quiet and crank it up before they start the video. I don't want to blow their ears out. I want them to see the warning and know to turn it down. So that's why that was there. And then, yeah, so I don't want to talk too much about, like, my personal life, but just to give you a little bit of reasoning of why I'm tired tonight, and of course these episodes come out on Thursdays and I release them on Fridays, so I pretty much have to record on Thursdays. But today is Thursday, and I had a project for college to do, which technically I didn't have to finish the whole thing today, but I got it in my mind that I wanted to finish my project, and I did. So that was, I mean, it's obviously, like, forced, work for me. Well, I forced myself to do it. I could have waited. It wasn't due today. But anyway, sorry. I probably shouldn't talk so much about this shit. Anyway, and then I had to do some work outside, which was exhausting, and yada yada yada. I was tired. I even took a nap. I actually just woke up from my nap, and I'm feeling a bit better. I'm feeling ready for this, even though I'm still a bit worn out. So, let's talk a little bit about the first episode. I'm going to try to keep it brief, because recently some of my recaps have been a lot longer than I want them to be. They almost end up being like the ending of the previous episode in length, where I talk way too much. So if you want to hear, like, my full thoughts and predictions and everything, you can check out the later half of my YouTube video has all of my discussions and everything after I send you guys off to the Vimeo link. Then you come back to it and watch that, so you can check that out. But, that being said, for episode 1, it was very good. There were a few things I wanted to say about it, and that was, apparently, so my friend informed me that there was a summary, because I told you guys that I read the summary, and he said there was a summary a while ago that said that where they lived was a farm. I don't know if it exactly said they were being eaten, but it did say it was a farm. That's all he told me, but he said it made it pretty clear that they were being eaten, and I may have read that, so when I made that, like, maybe they're being raised to be eaten by a cult joke in that episode, it might have come subconsciously, because I completely forgot if I even read that or not, but maybe I subconsciously remembered reading it, and that's why I said that, so that prediction might not be as valid as I thought it was. And obviously it's not a cult that's eating them, it's freaking weird monsters, which I don't know if are aliens or if this is, that's one thing I'd like to know. They're being harvested like cattle for these weird monsters, which there's different types of them. I'm wondering if they are aliens from another planet, or if they are like something that has always been. Like maybe this is how the human race has always been in this world, which would be interesting. Um, or if they like mutated. Like I know some stories they do something like mutating from humans. So it's like humans eating humans, and it's like a big shock factor at the end. Like later on, you find out like, oh my god, they used to be humans. Oh, they're eating humans. Oh. But anyway, yeah. So I'm interested to get into this, and I think that's all I'm gonna really talk about for the previous episode. In Connie's dead, Rip Connie. That was I pretty much saw a death coming, but you never know in an anime how much they're gonna show in the anime. Like sometimes they really censor it, and other times they show a lot, and they showed a decent amount in this one. Definitely not the most gruesome, but it was gruesome enough. Pretty cool, to be honest. I like when it shows the gruesome stuff. I don't like when they like censor it off and play it off. Anyway, I'm really excited about episode 2. So I think we should just go ahead and get started. You guys are going to see my green face for a second here because that's just how this thing starts. So you guys are going to go down into the Vimeo link right now, down to the description. You're going to click that link. You're going to watch my reaction. Then you're going to come back here and watch my thoughts, ideas, predictions, all that on the episode. So go ahead and do that right now, guys. Alrighty, guys. So that is the end of Promised Neverland episode 2. So that was interesting. I guess during the episode I wrote down 2 things, one of which was Pocket Watch, which when she pulled that out, my first thought was like, I guess my first thought was, what is that? And then I thought to myself, like, she pulled it out at that moment when a kid was lost, so it makes it pretty obvious that it is a tracking device, but if they didn't address it, I want to talk about it, but they did address it. I'll still mention that, like, that's what I wanted to say during the episode, was that it's a tracking device, so I don't know, I might even cut that part out of, like, the YouTube version, just because of the fact that, you know, it's not really a prediction since they say it 2 seconds after, like, I think of it. And I didn't even say what I thought it was anyway. Regardless, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a tracking device, and it is. Well, at least they assume it is. We still, I guess, we don't have 100% confirmation that it's a tracking device, but it stands to reason that it is. But yeah, so we had a lot of talking this episode, basically just them planning out their escape. So I'm wondering which way this this first season is gonna go. Like, I don't know if they're planning on a second season yet or not. It's hit or miss with animes. But I wonder if they are gonna escape before the end of the show, or if it's gonna be them trying to figure out their escape. Since they're introducing a new character to the household, I feel like they are gonna I feel like they're gonna stay in the house for a while, maybe even the whole series, which kinda stinks. I did really want them to escape quickly. Like, I was hoping this episode would be like them escaping quickly, but I understand they need to plan it out, especially because I didn't think they were planning on taking everybody, but they are. So that's interesting. That's gonna be hard. Like, how the hell are they gonna get everybody out without the 2 housekeepers to like, without them realizing? Like, it's interesting because they're gonna, like, if all of a sudden nobody is around or something, unless they do it while they're, like, busy or sleeping or something, but then they run into the problem, like Norman said, where, like, the young kids would be too tired to really, like, do anything, which is very, like, it's a good thing to consider. I found it funny. I made some comments throughout the episode about it, but I'm pretty sure they jumped over the fence, ran to the wall, right? But they're not supposed to go past that fence. But they spent so long talking outside of that fence that if they just and they should know that Mama's suspicious. So if she just checked her tracking device, I don't know how it works. If it is like a compass, but like points the arrow towards like the farthest kid away or something. That was another thing that I was talking about. Like, I wonder how that little tracking, it's like a little circle thing. I wonder how that works. Because obviously it can't, like, I highly doubt it lists every single person and says where they are, like all 37 kids. So I'm guessing it's an arrow that points to them, but then how to determine who it points to. So I was thinking maybe it points to the farthest kid away. That's like the most logical thing I could think of. So if that's the case, then I guess Mama just checking the wall, like the thing, wouldn't know that they went to the wall. But if she went out there to, investigate, then she'd find them. But I just thought it was just one of those things, one of those things in anime where they like spend a crap ton of time having a conversation where they really shouldn't. Happens in almost every anime. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Anyway, so they're planning on taking everybody. They're planning on climbing over that wall because obviously it's a lot safer than trying to go through the gate while it's open, which would be, while someone's being sacrificed, which means the monsters are there, Mama's there. It's pretty much impossible. So I think that was a new development. Did they mention the wall in the first episode and I missed it? They might have. But I didn't realize it was a wall. I was making jokes about that little fence, like, not really being protection or anything from whatever it was before I knew it was monsters eating them. But, yeah, so I guess that wall is what they're going to be climbing over. They've already got some stuff prepared to climb over. They've had it, like, stored there. So I wonder how, if they are gonna spend the whole series, like, in this compound, in this farm, what are they gonna do to, like, draw it out, I guess? Like, it's probably gonna be a lot of tense moments with Mom being suspicious, kind of like today. And now they have the second Mom, I don't know, maybe she said her name, I didn't remember it, but maybe they'll, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. And then one of the other things I want to talk about that stood out to me was the lock picking. So you'd think in a show like this, like in the world they're in, they only can learn what they're being taught, right? I guess they have a library, so maybe there's books on it, but you'd think, like, the mom and everything, they'd have this, like, flushed out system where they don't let the kids learn things that could be used to harm them, in a way. So you'd think they wouldn't have any way for a kid to learn how to lockpick. Like, that's not a normal thing. Like, even if you kind of figure it out on your own, like, if you could say, like, maybe they learned how a lock works, but still, like, why do they need to learn, like, the mechanical functions of a lock, So that's interesting that they were able to learn how to lockpick in this kind of environment. You'd think, like, the knowledge and information would be controlled more. I just thought that was interesting. Like, I don't think it's too out of place because all it takes is, like, one storybook to mention it and, like, go into detail, I guess, and then you could figure it out from there. But I just thought that was something interesting I wanted to talk about. As for the rest of the episode, it really was just a lot of them talking, and Mom was really creepy and everything. She definitely kind of suspects them because she straight up came out and asked, and they said that they didn't go out there, but I don't think she fully believed that. But I also wonder if she's suspicious of the other kids too, and we just didn't see it because these are the main characters. Maybe she grilled all the other kids the same way. Or maybe she is just suspicious, you know? Like, since none of the other kids know what's going on, all Mama has to do is ask around to see if anybody grabbed Connie's bear, or bunny, sorry. You know, so all those kids in the cafeteria that were cleaning it, they saw Emma grab it and run off. They could just straight up tell Mama because they have no idea what's going on, and then Mama just knows, you know, and just keeps an eye on them the whole time. So that's one thing that could happen. But yeah, I'm really liking the show. I'm not sure I really have much else to talk about for it. I think this episode was building up some shit that's gonna happen. They had like the dream sequence of the beginning with Connie on the table with like a fork in her, and that was pretty brutal. That was pretty cool. Um, it might sound like sadistic me saying that's cool, but I like when anime go like dark like this. Like I enjoy like the psychological like screwing with you. So that's why I find it like cool. Obviously it sucks for Connie, and if my theory that I said during the episode of Norman like sacrificing himself in the future for Emma comes true, then that I'll probably have like it'll probably have a more impact on me because a more developed character over several episodes, however many it would take, if that does happen. Anyway, any of the main characters that they really introduce you to and get you used to, it always hurts a lot more when they die over, you know, the first episode of the show they introduce you to a character, she dies, you know, you didn't really get to know her. So like less emotional attachment. But yeah. That was one thing. I'm wondering if Connie will do that, and then I could see like I can see like different animes where, you know, the childhood friend dies and then everyone else gets way more serious about it and they end up getting out, and we cut to like a future scene of them like without them, like thinking back to you know, the friend they lost, and them being like badasses now, like hunting these monsters or whatever they are. But it probably won't go that way anyway. I have a feeling we're going to be following these kids throughout the farm for a while. I do still really want them to escape, but I'm skeptical. I don't think they're gonna now, the way the story is going. Or at least they're not gonna yet. Like, maybe this series, like this first season will end with them escaping. But man, I would really love to see them escape because I really want to learn more about the outside world. That's the thing. I really want to learn what those monsters are. I want to know what everything looks like outside of the wall. Apocalyptic kind of scenarios like that, or possibly apocalyptic, you know, with slightly different traits to it and everything. Those kind of worlds always interested me, but I like seeing like the outside world. I like seeing like the devastation and like the learning of the information and everything, but who knows. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to this episode. I'm enjoying the show a lot, and I will see you guys next Friday for episode 3. And if you guys like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And also, I will make a quick note. I don't like pointing this out in the beginning of the episode. I don't want to annoy you guys with all this info, so if you don't care about this, feel free to leave if you even stayed this far. I am working on my Patreon, which will have full length. I'm in the process of, and I'll have full length for all my episodes that I have done up until this point, which is what's taking me so long to set it up, because I've been rendering all 19 Boruto episodes, and I think I'm up to 16 or 17 on the Steins Gate. And then the 2 episodes for this will be, I have to render all of these, which I can only do about 3 every night. And I'm done with Boruto now, and I started on Steins Gate, and I'm trying to get everything rendered so I can release my Patreon and have a backlog of all of my shows, and they'll all have full-length versions on there for Patreon supporters. So I figured I'd let you guys know that it's a work in progress, and I will definitely be. I won't be annoying at the start of every video saying, join my Patreon at the start of every video, but when I first release a Patreon, I will mention it. That way people can, know it exists, and there'll be a link to it in my description for every video, but I'll try not to do the start of every video with, join my Patreon! Anyway, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next week.